Hey everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here today to recap Welcome to Sweetie Pie Season 4, Episode 13, which was also the season finale. And so this episode was titled Facing the Music. So as I mentioned, it is the season finale of Welcome to Sweetie Pies, and on a scale of 1 to 10 scoops of mac and cheese, I give this season probably about a 7. It started out really sad, dealing with the death of Andre, and then it kind of heated up in the middle when Miss Robbie, filed the lawsuit against Tim, and then it really mellowed out because there was no resolution to the lawsuit, and they really didn't talk about it too much. And so for me, that was a little bit of a disappointment. And then I thought it was really sad, with the both of them, Miss Robbie and Tim both being in California and not speaking to each other and not having any type of interaction, I guess, because of the lawsuit. So the show opens with Miss Robbie and Linda, and they're going to TJ's to see Charles and to grab a bite to eat. And so he shares with them how much he enjoys having the place all to himself and how much easier it is to have one person in charge opposed to about 5 or 6 and nobody really knowing what their duties are. So Ms. Robbie tells him that, it's a good and bad thing because now all the responsibility falls on him, even though he has more freedom to run the restaurant the way he wants to. And so Charles, lets them know that he's been taking acting classes. And so it was pretty much a scene where they were catching up and Charles was letting them know, what he's been doing, as well as Ms. Robbie letting him know how her whole singing career thing is taking off. So the ladies place their orders, and Charles tells Linda that it will be extra because she wanted all white meat. So I guess that was something that he imposed that they don't really do at Sweetie Pies. And so in the kitchen, nothing's going right, and it takes forever to get the food out. And Miss Robbie actually ends up leaving before the food comes, and Linda has to take their orders to go. So over at the studio, Miss Robbie and the band are rehearsing, and I finally see some frustration on Stephanie's face, but she holds it in and comes up with a plan, so that everybody's happy. And so Ms. Robbie says that the more they rehearse, the more out of sync they are. And so Ms. Robbie, you're probably the one that's messing up. Everybody else seems to know what they're doing, but you're running the show, so we're gonna let you think that the other people don't know what they're doing. So Stephanie suggests that they just jam for a while, and that when Miss Robbie feels up to continuing with the rest of the band, that she can just jump in and they'll, get a feel for where she's at and kind of fall into sync with what she's doing. So this suggestion came along after the guitarist tells Miss Robbie that the lyrics and tune should be rolling out, without any effort because she's the one that wrote and arranged the song. So she finally acknowledges that she needs to trust the band and herself a little more and get over, the jitters of and perform before a live audience. Later, Miss Robbie heads over to the Catalina Bar and Grill, which is also called the Catalina Jazz Club later in the show, so I'm not sure which title is correct. And it's where she's going to be doing her performance at, as she is there to meet with the makeup artist and get ready for the show. So at the Inglewood location, Tim gives Charles a call to let him know that he wants to do a video marketing campaign for the restaurant on social media, and he wants Charles to star in the little clips that they're going to do. So Charles is reluctant and making excuses. Tim tells him to stop and take advantage of the opportunity, so he convinces Charles to say yes. So Charles shows up for the filming of the commercial, and Tim has pretty much gone all out with a whole team with videographers, cameramen, actors, and a script writer. So Charles was a little nervous, but it seems to be missing one thing, which is Danielle, since she is supposed to be their social media marketing manager. The whole thing was just really too silly, and Charles, I guess he was supposed to be kind of improvising along with the set, and he's playing a customer at the restaurant, and then there's an actor who's actually playing the wait staff. And so Charles asked for a gluten-free something gluten-free, or did they have gluten-free items? And so the guy tells him that nothing is for free, and that the prices are listed on the menu next to the items. And if he has to take the gluten out of whatever Charles ordered, then that would be an extra $3. So the commercials are kind of stupid, and if you think about it, they sort of made sweetie pies look like they're not current and up to the times, especially when you're in an area like Los Angeles where everybody's supposed to be weight conscious and, want to be camera ready at all times. So Charles meets with Danielle to show her the finished product, and she feels a little betrayed, which I don't blame her, because she's been the one that's helping Charles, with his whole acting thing and getting into classes. And Danielle says that, she's glad she wasn't a part of the foolishness, and gives Charles, a rundown of what she thinks about these little videos that they did. Charles is happy with the feedback that Danielle provided, and says that, despite all that's happened, he's just grateful, to finally be moving forward and actually doing, acting and taking the classes and everything. So Inglewood is opening for the day, and Chloe is motivating the staff before, Bruce unlocks the doors. She's going down the line and telling them, giving them little tips about, smile, be professional, move quickly, showing them how to use like the paper that separates the greasy foods from the vegetables and that type of thing. So, they're really big on the on-job training. And Chloe, I just have to commend her because she has just done a complete turnaround. So in her confessional, Chloe talks about, how hard it is living, without her daughter, and not being there, to see her off to school or pick her up when she gets home from school and to hear about her day. And so she says that the sacrifice she's making in LA is probably for the best. And I was really confused by that, since they have all those sweetie pie restaurants in St. Louis. Like, why couldn't she just work at one of those restaurants and be there with her daughter? So Tim surprises Chloe by arranging for her mom and daughter, whose name is Kennedy, to come for a visit. And this was the most awkward reunion I had ever seen, or had seen in a long time, because the little girl really looked like she didn't know who Chloe was. And no matter how much prompting and prodding that Chloe was doing, the girl was just looking at her like, who the hell are you? And I don't know if the girl was just camera shy, or if she was fascinated by all the cameras, and I'm sure the people that were in the background filming the scene, but she just really didn't look like she knew Chloe at all. And then Chloe's mom, I thought, looked like she was younger than Chloe. So that was just an interesting dynamic. And but appreciative that if that was her daughter and her mom in real life, that she did get an opportunity to see them, and that Tim did a good thing for her. Then as we move on, it doesn't appear that Tim has learned anything or paid Miss Robbie's lawsuit any attention. He meets with Bruce to show him two new possible locations that he wants to open up restaurants. And one was in Houston and the other one was in Las Vegas. And Bruce lets him know that, they don't have Inglewood under control, but he supports Tim 100%, in the expansion process. And that, he has his back and he'll be there, to help in any way that he can. So Tim says that he wants to talk to his mom, but it's like she's no longer even interested in the restaurant business anymore. So he's just going to keep moving forward and doing, whatever it is that he wants to do, and be damned about that lawsuit that's pending. So it's almost time for the show, and old friends of Miss Robbie are showing up, including the daughter of Tina Turner's sister. I think her name was Eileen. And Eileen has passed away, and I guess Miss Robbie stepped in like a motherly role for this girl. And she said something about, she's the only family that she has. But I'm thinking Tina Turner is very much still alive, or maybe she meant in the United States, because I think Tina Turner lives overseas somewhere. So the two of them are very emotional, and they're just hugging and crying and embracing each other. And she's telling Miss Robbie, how proud she is of her, and that she wouldn't have missed this opportunity for anything in the world. Before Miss Robbie goes on stage, Linda comes in to pray, over everyone. and it's finally showtime. So the band and background singers take to the stage first, and Stephanie warms up the crowd and then finally introduces Miss Robbie. So the show was really cute, and Miss Robbie, she was doing her thing. In between her songs, she told these cute little stories, to keep the crowd engaged, and they seemed to love it. And I know this was very exciting for her, and I'm really proud of Miss Robbie for seeing it through, because I think it takes a lot to put yourself out there, and put your art out there for public consumption, and you don't know how people are going to receive it. But it was a full house, and a lot of the people looked like they were really there to support Miss Robbie and wanted to see her succeed. So Miss Robbie closed out the show, with her version of Walk Around Heaven. But Miss Robbie says that when she gets there, she'll probably see Ike, and that she's going to tell him that she no longer has to work anymore, and that she don't have to be on time no more. So she needs him to go somewhere and sit down. So I think it was so sad that Tim or none of the other employees, especially those that came from St. Louis, like Bruce and Chloe, came to the show. And but Charles was there. He's always supportive of Miss Robbie, and I'm sure that meant a lot to her. So they're encouraging each other, him with the singing, telling her to continue with the singing, and her telling Charles to keep following his dream of being an actor if that's what he wants to do. So then all of a sudden, Miss Dolores, Holly Pete's mom, she comes in and just steals the show, because she has Tina Knowles, or Beyonce's mama, as Miss Robbie put it, like Tina Knowles don't have her own identity. And so she pretty much said that she was starstruck and happy that Tina had came out. And I could believe it when she said that Miss Dolores is almost 80 years old, but she's trying to get Miss Dolores to be her talent agent, or her manager, or whatever it is. But I think Miss Dolores brought Tina Knowles up in there because she's a little younger, and she probably would be able to help Miss Robbie if Miss Robbie is to have a career. So the show closed with Miss Robbie recapping the year, the highs and the lows and the in-betweens. And as far as the season goes, the season finale was pretty much what I expected. It was just a wrap up of what was going on in everybody's life. So now that Sweetie Pies is over, do you guys think it's going to come back for another season? Are you still, in for the ride, supporting the family? And has anybody heard, what's going on with the lawsuit? So leave your comments below, rate the video, share it if you liked it, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall chat with you guys later, but let's not let this be the end, because like I say, there's other shows that I recap, and you can find those at youtube.com/A View from Tracy's Point. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.